In today's episode, for low to moderate income taxpayers, I'm going to be talking about a resource available to you to make sure that you get your taxes filed on time and for free. Okay? Now, check this out. If you have a balance and you file that tax return late, for each month that it's late, you will pay a 5% penalty.
Welcome to the Tax Relief with Timalyn Bowens podcast. Are you behind on taxes? Is the IRS threatening you or your business? Are you overwhelmed and confused about how to resolve your tax issues? Let's join Timalyn as she explains your options and how she may be able to help. Timalyn Bowens is America's favorite EA.
Hey, family. Welcome to episode 74 of the Tax Relief with Timalyn Bowens podcast. We are near the end of the year, and while we do deal with tax relief, I never want to lose focus of also sharing information that is preventative care to ensure that if you are doing things the right way now, you don't end up in tax trouble, okay? So this episode is one of those episodes where I'm sharing information to help you avoid tax problems. Now, in last episode, we talked about the low income taxpayer clinic for low to moderate income taxpayers who can't afford tax representation, but yet, because of the Taxpayer Bill of Rights, they reserve the right to be represented. This past year, 2025, I have come across more taxpayers who are in need of tax representation due to not getting their taxes filed on time. So, in today's episode, for low to moderate income taxpayers, I'm going to be talking about a resource available to you to make sure that you get your taxes filed on time and for free. Okay? Now, check this out. If you have a balance and you file that tax return late, for each month that it's late, you will pay a 5% penalty, okay? And it maxes out at 5 months. So if you have the opportunity to get your taxes filed for free, capitalize on that opportunity so you don't make your tax debt bigger, right? Because let's say that you see that you're going to have $1,000 tax bill. If you file that 5 months late, you're automatically adding $250 to that. Now, if it's a year where you have a bigger balance, let's say it's $10,000. Filing it late can cost you an unnecessary $2,500 more. All right? So, if you qualify for one of these free filing opportunities, again, capitalize on that. So the one that we're going to focus on today is the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, okay? Also known as VITA. In addition to that, there is also a program that is specifically for senior citizens, which is tax counseling for the elderly. Both of these programs are going to offer free basic, emphasis on basic, tax return preparation to qualified individuals. So you may be thinking, who is qualified? In the past 50 years that the VITA program has operated, they offer free tax help and preparation assistance to people who generally make $67,000 or less, people who have disabilities, and people who are part of the ESL community. So again, very similar to the same people who can receive assistance from the Low Income Taxpayer Clinic. So for this upcoming spring, if you've made less than $67,000, if you have a disability, or if you are a member of the ESL, English as a Second Language community, you may qualify to have your taxes prepared for free at a volunteer income tax assistance clinic. Now, with that being said, emphasis on the volunteer. These people have gone through training to be able to prepare your taxes, but they are volunteers. Okay. Not all of them have a tax background. They are there to help and they have been provided training. Okay. So I do want to say that, but this is not what they do for a living per se. All right. Now, for those of you listening and you're a tax professional and you just like to listen to the podcast, I will share how you can participate in a VITA site. And I'll also invite you to go listen to an episode I did on my enrolled agent career where I talked with Desmond Hudson and he talks about how he works with VITA sites each year to ensure the people of Philadelphia have the opportunity to have their taxes done correctly. Okay? So, back to our main focus here, the taxpayers. There's a different, I would call it sector, because it's essentially VITA as well, but the tax counseling for the elderly program. These sites are usually like at your AARP, sometimes community churches host them, but this is going to offer help for people who are at least 60 years old or older. And the clinic specializes in questions about pensions and retirement related issues that are unique to people over the age of 60. Okay. Now, the IRS does manage the VITA and the TCE programs, but they're operated by IRS partners and staffed by volunteers. Okay. So this isn't the same as making an appointment with the IRS to go get your taxes done. All right. It's a program that is sponsored by them. Now, the volunteers are going to be, like I said again, trained. They're IRS certified volunteers who are providing the tax counseling. During college, I had the opportunity to volunteer at a VITA site. There are people with integrity that are going to these sites, but you should still be careful. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I would go check out an earlier episode that I'll link in the notes where I talk about how to choose a tax professional just to make sure that in some situations you get what you pay for and this is free, but just because it's free doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. All right. But there are still certain things that you want to look for. All right. And again, that's why this is basic tax return preparation. If you are trading cryptocurrency, if you have businesses, even if you meet the income threshold, I would not recommend that you go to a VITA site because a Schedule C for a business owner is a specialized area and not basic. Same thing with cryptocurrency. Okay. So moving along with these sites, not only are they going to be free? They're going to be operated like a business. So some sites will be a little bit busier than others. So you do want to make sure that you are checking in to see, hey, do I need to make an appointment? What time are you all open? What all do I need? And before you even get there, you can actually go to a VITA or TCE site and see what services are going to be provided at the site that you are going to be visiting. In addition to that, there's even going to be a list of what you should bring just to make sure that your appointment goes smoothly and that when you leave, your tax return is actually complete and ready to be e-filed. I'll link the site in the notes below, but you can also check out publication 3676-B, and it will provide you with the same information. Now, with that being said, make sure you actually look at the list of things that you need and the services provided for the specific site that you're interested in because some services can vary at different sites due to the capacity that they have because of volunteers, right? We all know when things are manned by volunteers, it's hard to get people to donate their time and sometimes their abilities, right? So you do want to check that out before you get out in the cold to get your taxes done. There is Also, an AARP Tax-Aide site. Okay, so at these sites, taxpayers have the option to prepare their own basic federal and state tax return for free using the web-based preparation software. And in addition to that, you'll have an IRS certified volunteer to help guide you through the process. This option is going to be available when you're looking at the tool at sites that also list self prep in the site listing. Because a lot of taxpayers, I'll even throw my dad out there under the bus, like to prepare their own taxes. Yes, against my recommendations, America's favorite EA's dad prepares his own taxes. But with that being said, things have changed over the years since he began working, since he began pastoring, since he began bringing in additional income, and now tax returns are required to be e-filed. So for someone like him who maybe hasn't downloaded their own software, they can go to one of these AARP Tax-Aide sites and prepare their return there so that it can actually be e-filed and processed in a timely way. All right. So if you are struggling with, I really want somebody else to prepare my taxes, but I can't afford it this year. If you're under that $67,000 income threshold, the VITA program might be the perfect thing for you. If you're a senior citizen and same thing. Maybe you're on a fixed income. Maybe some things have happened within your budget and you're like, I really need to get my taxes done and I can't afford to go to my preparer anymore. You may want to check out the Tax Counseling for Elderly program to assist you with getting your taxes filed on time. Because remember, if you run into any tax issues, the IRS will be willing to negotiate if you are tax compliant, which means if you had a tax filing requirement, you filed your taxes. All right. Now, if you listen to this and you're like, hey, this is good information, I have a basic return, but I don't really qualify for that income threshold. Check this out. If you're a DIY person, I am going to be doing a walkthrough of 1040.com this spring in January, okay? And I'm going to have that on the YouTube channel. Now, I will give you a disclaimer here. I believe it's either $25, $29. File whatever forms you need for that flat rate. But if you watch my video, if you click my link, you use my code, they'll send me a commission. All right. So I will give you that disclaimer. If you get in there and you're like, hey, I'm overwhelmed, I really want to go to a tax professional who knows what they're doing, you heard it here first. We are going to open up our books in 2026 after our current clients have booked to take on 75 more 1040 clients. All right. So with that in mind, my information is always in the notes. You can go to the website and book a call. All right. I hope you found this insightful. Please let us know in the comments what your favorite part of the episode was. If you have family members or friends who are struggling to pay for tax preparation, would you do me a favor and please share this episode, because you'll help me in my mission to fill the tax literacy gap one taxpayer at a time. Thank you. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen today. I'd like to thank Jim Ray Consulting Services for helping me get this message out to you. I hope you found the information helpful. Did you know 1 in 50 people have a tax problem? Please share this episode with your friends and family, because you never know who may need help. Again, thanks for listening. Hey, just as a reminder, this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. It provides a framework and possible solutions for solving your tax problems, but it is not legally binding. Please consult your tax professional regarding your specific tax situation.